Good afternoon. My name is Jason Durfee here with Stoneridge Software. Thanks for joining our webinar today. We'll be going through Dynamics 365, CRM and ERP better together. During this session here, we'll go through how the CRM and ERP, whether it be AX and NAV, how they can integrate, how they can play together, and how your sales team and operations team can interact better. So to kick this off, I just want to do some quick introductions. My name is Jason Durfee. I am a pre-sales architect out here at Stoneridge. I have been with Stoneridge here since about the first of the year, working with CRM for a little over 6 years now, whether it be Dynamics or a few others. Have been doing anything from the sales side to delivery operations to now the pre-sales architect, helping our clients understand what capabilities our software has, as well as helping them understand how to do implementations. On this PowerPoint, you guys will have access to. It does have my bio if you guys would like to take a look at that on our Stoneridge page, as well as a LinkedIn if you would like to connect. So today's agenda, as I mentioned, we're really going to be focusing on Dynamics 365, customer engagement, and our ERP integration. So to start that off, I'm going to do a quick introduction on Dynamics 365, customer engagement, formerly known as CRM, talk through kind of just some basics, just make sure we're level set, everybody understands what CRM can do, what it has, and then actually start hopping in and demonstrating an integrated sales process. So starting with the CRM flowing through a lead to opportunity management, quote management, how that all flows over to our orders, invoices within our accounting software. Towards the end, we'll have our Q&A. During our session, you're welcome to send in chats. I've got Sabrina on the line who'll be monitoring and flagging me as they come in. If they're relevant, we'll answer them right away. Otherwise, towards the end, we'll open it up for everyone to ask more questions. And then towards the end, we'll actually talk about upcoming events. This is our first in our 4-part webinar series, so feel free to register for other ones. We're excited to present for you. So with that, I'll go ahead and get started. So where I want to start is just talking about Microsoft Dynamics 365. And so this includes our Business Central, our AX, our CRM, our sales, customer service. And so Microsoft has done a great job really focusing and really integrating all their products together under this Dynamics cloud. As you can see here, they're focusing between sales to our customer service, field service, all flowing across to the different applications just to give a seamless organizational input. The other great part about what Microsoft is doing is they're pulling in their other applications. So as I look at this here, being able to integrate Office 365, Power BI, AppSource, using some of the newer technologies such as Power Apps and Flow to just make all the applications, everything we're doing, more streamlined and easier for our users. As you can see today during our session, we'll be looking specifically at Dynamics 365 Sales and then Finance and Operations / Business Central. So where I want to start is talk about what normally is going on within organizations. So most organizations have non-integrated processes. And what I mean by that is they have their accounting system one place, they have their sales system another, and they don't often communicate well or at all. Really, they're just kind of siloed systems there that, it's whether it be email or paper copies to communicate, whether it be a quote or an order between each department. So as you can see here, this is kind of the normal process here. We've got a system most of the time that, sales data is entered, so quoting functionality, whether it be Excel spreadsheets or some sort of slim CRM, to, sales management. So kind of trying to do some forecasting, understanding what's going on. And then that information is manually transferred for orders into an accounting or ERP system. So a lot of times, and as you can see here, there's a lot of manual processes here and a lot of opportunity for mistypes or miskeys. And so what ends up happening is there's often, issues with syncing the data, or even worse, going out to clients and having inaccurate data for our customers. So what we would like to look at is just kind of talking about, not having siloed systems, not having different places to see different information, seeing one source of truth, a 360 view of our clients. Here's what that kind of looks like, and we'll demonstrate that here shortly. So an integrated process, really inputting our sales information within Dynamics 365, using our leads and our prospects inside that system to understand who we're targeting, who we're marketing to, following through with that to our sales process and quoting, automating that to integrate directly into our accounting so they can manage our orders and our shipping, all of that information that ERPs do so well. So it's great to be able to see how our customer and sales information can go into one system, automatically integrates between that and then to the ERP, allowing us to update changes between them. So not only can we have our quotes and our orders go from CRM to ERP to be managed and processed, we can have that information flow back so that we can, as a sales team or as a sales user, actually see orders, invoices, what's going on with our different customers. So what does that look like? How does that integration flow through? If you're using Finance and Operations, Business Central, or a different version of AX, some of these terms look very similar. So as you can see on the left-hand side, I've got my Finance and Operations, my Business Central, and on the right, we've got Sales. So this is how we do that seamless integration. We push things in data points back and forth. So you can see we've got our customers. We can create new and update customers back and forth between the systems. We can have addresses up and date, items and resources and price lists, which are very commonly and greatly used within our accounting software, can all be managed in there, but pushed to our CRM, allowing us to have updated sales information for our sales reps at their fingertips, instead of them having to get a spreadsheet sent to them once a month or having to go search in the ERP. As we know, most salespeople can't really find their way around ERP very easily. So this just makes it very easy for them to find that information. We can also have processes for orders to flow back and forth. So we can have it created from the sales process and flow into the ERP, and the ERP can then come back and update it as we go through. Another thing to note here is, again, this is kind of a standard, as I mentioned. This is not set. This integration can be very highly customized, and as I'm walking through this, I'll talk to that we can have accounts come one way or both ways. At a certain point, we can have data points flow one way and both ways. We can have different things locked down for proper account management, as well as for your better tracking, such as shipping, billing information in the ERP, so your salespeople don't update that incorrectly. So just, again, I want to level set a little bit, just kind of talk through what is CRM a little bit, just so everybody has the same understanding. And if this is a review, great, you may learn something. If not, just kind of a nice refresher for you. So a couple terms we'll be talking through here today within the CRM is leads. So lead inside of our CRM is a potential or unqualified sales engagement. It's someone we're talking to that we haven't done business with them before. It's someone we want to do business with, and we're trying to figure out if it's a right fit. And you'll see here in a minute, we've got a nice diagram that our leads flow into opportunities. Our opportunity is the actual sales engagement, where we're talking with customers, trying to figure out what products we can sell to them, what we can talk to them about, and what's going to work perfect for them. With opportunities, we can relate those directly to accounts or customers. Generally, these are companies we're working with. We often have prospects or vendors in there as well. We can track that all inside the system. Within accounts, we can actually have contacts, so specific individuals we're working with. And again, these are typically associated to our accounts, just as that relationships. And then all the records we've talked about above, and even more, we can track activities. And this is really where the CRM comes into play. It's very helpful for our sales and our flow here, is that we can track our emails, our phone calls, our communication back and forth between our systems. And that way we're keeping our sales and our marketing team outside of our ERP in a system that they're meant for. So with that, let's kind of talk about what that flow looks like and what we're going to walk through. So as you see here, I've got just kind of a quick diagram. So we can see here we've got our leads. So everything starts as a lead. We go through what we call a qualification process that we'll demonstrate here momentarily, creating our account, contact, and opportunity. Opportunities can then have quotes. So what are we actually selling to our customers? What information are they getting? Those quotes can then flow into orders and invoices. We can see that all inside of one system again because of the integration between Sales CRM and our ERP. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and open up the system. So what you're looking at now is Dynamics 365 Online version 9. Again, this is the newest version. This may look similar to something you've seen before, may look a little bit different. And the first place it starts out is this looks a lot different again than what you're looking at in ERP. It's more streamlined, designated for salespeople for quick access to different information. So right away with this application, you can see I'm looking at things such as pipeline. I'm looking at what do I have to do as far as relationship to continue building with my customers. Things such as phone calls that are due, tasks that are upcoming, open opportunities. I can see those all in one central place within this system. As we flow through this, we'll see a few other things as far as leads and processes that we can manage, all centralized in one place. I'm going to go ahead and hop in right away. So if I click in here, I'm going to start with the lead, as I mentioned. So I can see here very quickly, I've got a lead. I've already set this up just to make it a little bit easier for a demonstration. I've got Nancy Anderson here. Nancy's someone that came to us from our website through a web post. We can see that she filled out a form. She came in here when she's now interested in opening up a new club, so she needs some software with us. So first thing you guys can notice that helps with our sales process now is across the top we have our process ribbon, allowing our sales team to manage the steps along the way of what they need to do in communication with our clients and our prospects. We can see different information that we're collecting, such as purchase timeframes, estimated budgets, all that information centralized in one place. As I scroll down here, we can see some more key information about this prospect that we're talking to. Again, right now we're in a prospect. This does not flow through to our ERP. This is allowing us to separate our different data points between the two systems. But I can see, the beginning of a company information. Who are they? What's their address? What's their website? I can see that all in one place here. The other great thing, as I mentioned, we can start to track what stakeholders are at locations, what competitors, and any marketing detail that's key for this account. How do we want to communicate with them going forward? So again, it's great to be able to see some of these pieces that are all centralized here for marketing and sales, that again, they're not relative to our accounting right away, but as we flow through, they will be very pertinent to those. So I'm going to go ahead and flip back here. So, I've been working with this prospect. I've been talking to them. They're now at a point in time where we know they want to do business with us. We go through what we call a qualification process, and I kind of mentioned that a few minutes ago, but kind of want to just talk about that a little bit deeper here. So we have a qualification of a lead, and as you can see, we have a lead up here. And what happens when we qualify this lead is it automatically creates records in our CRM for us. It creates an account, creates a contact, and an opportunity. Now, I know some of you may be a little concerned when I say it creates an account, and that's perfectly fine. So one of the great parts about our integration is we don't have to have accounts flow automatically between the two systems. The great part about this, and as you'll see with that process ribbon, is we can stage this out. So at certain points, when a sale meets a certain point, or once an order is actually created, we can actually have that account at that point flow over to our accounting system, and that can then become the master. The key with any integration is we need to define who the master of the data is. More often than not, once a sale is created, it is that accounting system. But as you can see here, once we do that qualification, it'll go ahead, create our account, contact, and opportunity. So let's go ahead and hit that qualification button here. And this takes just a minute for us to flow through. But then it'll go ahead and create us right away to our opportunity where we can see some information. So on the opportunity, we can start to see, hey, we're in the next stage of the process. We can begin to manage a few different things inside of our system as well, such as, again, more forecast related for more sales. What's our estimated close date? What's our estimated revenue? We can go ahead and start doing forecasts off these items as well. So if I say it's going to close later this year, I can do that. The other great part of that integration, as I mentioned before, is our prices and products flow between the two systems. So if I scroll down a little bit further on this page, what I'm going to be able to do is actually add products to this. So I've got my different product lines. So again, prices and products all flow between the two systems, starting in our accounting software that manages those so well, setting up the dimensions of different pieces there, flowing into our CRM. So if I go ahead and click on this, I can see we've got a few different price lists. I'm going to go ahead and collect our CRM one, and I'm going to go ahead and find a product here. I know these guys are interested in some Dynamics 365 CRM. They're interested in the professional edition. So I can go ahead and save that. And again, part of this integration allows us to set different properties. So because I have this integration with AX, I want to have certain properties set up here as well, just for key tracking. So how many users are we thinking about having? Make sure we're collecting the company names. This is AdventureWorks. What's the segment? What's the URL? I can go ahead and click key information and confirm that, so then it's saved here. I can also select quantities. So how many people are they end up looking at licensing buying? They're looking at 11. And we can see this is all automatically changing as we go through. The great part about this, as I mentioned, we have our estimated revenue up above, is this can automate. So here you can see how we're forecasting. I can do system calculate. So now we can see exactly how we're tracking this information. I can see what the revenue is based on the products that they're interested in, as well as what price list. Again, all items flowing and starting from our accounting software into our CRM. So one of the things that happened when I hit that qualification button was we did go ahead and create an account as well. And I want to take a step back and go look at that account. So if I come in here and I search for AdventureWorks, for example, search for Adventure, there's my account. We can see some key account information as well. Again, I've set this up in ahead of time, so I've got a little bit of cheat data in here. But on our account record, we can just get that centralized view of everything that's going on. So we can see our account number flowing from AX. We can have this locked down, as I mentioned, so that CRM can't touch it. Users in this application don't know what it is. It's locked, but it is relating the two records between our systems. As I scroll down, we can see some other great sales information as far as what orders do they have. I can see they order new licenses early, that order's complete. I can see any invoices that have gone out. We've got a new invoice, so I can see those statuses. I can also see opportunities. Again, I can see all this information in one place as a salesperson, giving me one central view and quick access. So as I'm going to talk to them, whether it be a meeting or I get a phone call from them, I can see that right here in my CRM.
Hey, Jason, can I cut in with a quick question for you?
Absolutely.
Can you customize product line items to include, rental term fields or, any other field that maybe a specific industry or business would need to use?
Absolutely. So and we can go back to that here in just a few minutes, but we can customize that record so we are required to put in rental terms, whether it be a 30, 60, 90 day payment terms as well. And we'll get to payment terms here in just a little bit when we open up a quote. But absolutely, we can add any of those components to a product line on an opportunity. Again, on the opportunity, those product lines are generally just for forecasting. So we want to maybe start looking at rentals and things like that. That's probably going to come to play a little bit more on our quotes and our orders, but we'll look at that here shortly. Perfect. So the other part that, as I mentioned, that got created as I went through that qualification process is our contacts. So we've got our contacts associated here. We could have multiple contacts, as we mentioned. And again, these contacts are things that can flow between our two systems. If we need to keep, account information or contact information or ERP, this can be pushed back and forth as well. I'll go ahead and click into our contact here and just see some very basic information about what's happening with them, what's going on. One of the things I mentioned at the beginning here is this system is also set up for a sales tool. So it's allowing us to track activities, track things that are happening with these different contacts as we're communicating with them as a sales or marketing team. So in here, I've got my activity tracker. So again, very easily with this application, I can start to track phone calls, tasks, meetings, different things that are going on. And again, if you remember that third slide that I showed, it actually will show we can use Office 365 and Outlook to integrate our meetings, our tasks, our events, all between the two systems. And very easy in here, I'm gonna go ahead and just quick demonstrate this. I can create a quick task, need to follow up next week. The great part about this as well is I can go ahead and schedule it, and I can assign it to myself or I can assign it to other people. So, this may be something that is automated even. So as an order comes through to a certain point, this can kick off a task or an email to other users. So it's great to be able to have this nice task and functionality inside the system. I'm going to go ahead and see that here. We need to follow up next week, and I can hit complete when I'm done with it. Again, we've got just quite a few different activities we can do, whether it be phone calls, tasks, meetings, and emails. And again, those can all come and start directly from our Outlook if your users are used to that. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and hop back to my PowerPoint just for a minute. So as I said, the different pieces can flow across. And I've just got a screenshot here of my AX system. As you can see, we've set up our different AX accounts inside the system. All those data points can flow back and forth, so we have them in one place. And the great part about this, again, is it's all central. It's all linked, it's all tracked, it's all going back and forth here. We'll go ahead and go back to our opportunity here real quick. So again, with this process, we've gone ahead, we're working this opportunity, and you can see here, hey, this is the one we were just working a few minutes ago. I set that estimate close date in the future. Now we have a relationship assistant telling us different things that are going on, just giving us nice reminders that, hey, we have an opportunity closing full soon. This will also show my dashboard, which gives us great access to understanding what's happening and what we need to do as a sales and marketing team. If I scroll down here a little bit further, again, we added that product line a little bit ago, and now I want to go ahead and we need to send out a quote to our client. And so we can go ahead and do that. If I scroll just a little bit farther, we've got our quote section. And everything you're looking at, I know I've scrolled a lot here, but this can all be customized and slimmed down, make sure that your users are happy with how their look and feel is as well. Now it's great here, I can go ahead and hit this plus button, and this is actually going to automatically pull in the product lines from our quote. And I'm just going to try and pop it open as well, but I'm going to have my pop-up blocker on. But it will add all the products that I just associated. It'll open it up here. I click on it, and now we can actually see our quote. And we can start to manage some different details here on a quote. That's really important for our accounting and our order systems to manage. Things such as shipping method, our payment terms, our freight. And as I mentioned, this may be the point in time where we want to start tracking of, they're looking at renting it for X number of days or X number of months. This is that point in time where it may make more sense to do that. This is also where I can start to do things such as talk about discounting. Is there freight charges? Is there different things like that? These can all, again, flow between our two systems to add those costs into the CRM so we get quick access to it. One of the nice things about the system here is I can go ahead and I can always create documents. So again, using the Microsoft suite of products, we can export these quotes directly into Word documents, into reports, have it go ahead and something we can send out. And then depending on what you're using, have document signature applications as well, such as DocuSign or Adobe Sign, that we can actually have electronic signatures come right back in the system to, again, automate a lot of our process and just streamline our sales and our operations. With our quotes inside the system, one of the nice things just to note here is that I've got my quote, and right now it's a draft. I can go ahead and activate that quote. What that's doing for me is it's actually locking down our quoted items so that we can send this quote out. Nobody can edit it until we go back to revision or we close it. And again, this is one way we can help lock down what's happening. We make sure that people aren't accidentally clicking things. We're not adding products without knowing it. It just, again, streamlines this process and makes it simpler for our sales team. However, it does happen where if we need to adjust. We've talked to them about 11 licenses here. If we need to go back because now we need 12. It's very easy to do that. Right here you can see we have a revision number. I can revise this quote. Again, central place, we're tracking the information. I can see we're now on revision 1. I can update this and say now we want 12 licenses. I can, again, activate the quote saying I sent it out to the client, and it will lock it down. This then gives me a log of every quote, every product that I've quoted to them, everything I've sent out, all in one place. So if I go ahead and I flip back to my opportunity real quick, just to give you a quick view here, and scroll back down to my quote section, I can see that, hey, on this opportunity, we quoted them twice. The first one was closed out. We can give different reasons if we wanted to as well, so you can track that. And the second one's active, so we do have an active quote with those guys. So again, I can see that all in one central place here. So the last step of our CRM process that really affects what's going to happen next is creating an order. So at this point in time, we've talked to this client, they're ready to go, they're ready to move forward. They now want us to go ahead and create an order. And again, this is the point in time where processes are really get defined. I'm going to go ahead and just talk through one basic process. How you guys want to do this integration is very flexible. Whether we want to stop at this point, whether we want to flow forward, just have data push back and forth, that's really up to you guys, and we can talk through that deeper as needed. But inside the system, what it natively allows me to do is go ahead and come up here and hit this create order button. What this is going to do is going to give me a pop-up here in just a moment. It's going to say, okay, we want to create an order, so we're going to go ahead and close this as one. Do we also want to close the opportunity? Yes, we do. And we want to go ahead and calculate our revenue. Perfect. So we can go ahead and hit OK. At this point in time, we can have a couple of things happen. We can have the system automatically push this information or notify our team of accounting about this order. We could pause it here, so it's still not pushed across. We could require a sales team to collect a little bit more information and then push it back to our accounting team. That way that if there's key information such as additional shipping information or different billing information they need to collect, we can force them to collect it at this point before it's submitted. There's a lot of great ways we can track and make sure that they're getting the information you need them to at the right time. But as you can see, we're now on our order within our system here. And depending on, again, your preference, we can have this completely locked down for our users so they can't access it, or we can have them be able to do a few things as well. I'm going to flip back to my PowerPoint here real quick, just kind of talk through this. So On our different records here, I've got, our CRM orders. So again, all this information can flow across. I could be able to see all within the system our different, delivery information, our location we're delivering to, delivery dates. All this data can flow from our CRM to our accounting software for proper tracking and everything, and then proper processing. Again, this doesn't have to happen. We can stop at this point, have notifications go out, and have it push back, all depending on your preference there. So let's look at that real quick. What happens when it's locked down? So if I go ahead, and I'm going to hop back to AdventureWorks for a moment. So on AdventureWorks here, hang on, give me one moment. I've got some already created records, so I can see that we've got a order in here already. As a salesperson, as I mentioned, we can see this very quickly on one page, but I can also click into it as well. I can click into the order. I can see all the details about this order, the products, any of the shipping information. And as you can see down here in the bottom right, it's read only. It's not allowing my sales or my users to actually access it. So it's making sure that all my data is staying up to date. Nothing's getting messed up by my sales team or by my marketing team. It's all correct. Same thing then works for our invoices. So I'm going to go ahead and hop back here again to our account. Our invoices are all set up in here where I can see our different details here about our licensing. I can see which ones are open, which ones are completed. And we can see, again, the products, the details here, everything about that can flow back and forth between the systems here. And again, just quick screenshot so we can see that. Again, all this data from our AX or Business Central system can flow. We can see all of it centralized here. So we're a little bit ahead of schedule, so I'm going to go ahead and we can talk about what we've talked about here today. So as we talked about, the system here is set up. We've given a high-level overview of what Dynamics 365 brings to the table with our integration between CRM and AX or Business Central, how our flow can happen for our sales process to make sure our leads, our opportunities, all get very quickly notified into our accounting team. We also talked about the integration, and I can't stress this enough. I've shown just kind of a basic integration today that pushes everything back and forth. This is very flexible. This integration can work in many different fashions. We can customize it to fit your needs. It's very great to be able to have the processes set up the way you need it to be. And again, as you saw with the account view, this just gives us an increased visibility to what's going on, increased efficiency of all what our process is, as well as the communication, and then better tracking of our revenue. So what's happening, what's going forward, all the different details there. So I'm going to go ahead and pause there a minute and go ahead and open it up for questions.
There was one additional question that came through, Jason. Can you add products as a book? So when you choose one product, it automatically adds the additional products that automatically correlate with that first product. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. We do have that ability to automatically add other products. There's a few different methods that CRM has, whether it be bundling products or even having suggestion of products. So similar to AX, how you can say things are related, we can have that all flow in through the CRM as well. Other questions? Perfect. If there's no other questions, we'll go ahead and kind of start wrapping up a little bit early here. If you do have questions, feel free to reach out to the sales team here, your account manager, or myself. We're happy to answer anything else about this and how this could fit into your current situation. And just kind of a reminder, as I mentioned, this is the first in our 4-part CRM webinars. Coming up next here at the end of the month, we have our implementation with Dynamics 365 with a quick start. Wednesday, November 29th from 11 to 12, followed by Maximize Your Impact of Dynamics 365 September 1st, and then our new features. So this fall, new feature releases in October 9th.
Hey, Jason, before you wrap, one last question that came through here. How does the reporting work for active versus closed quotes because of the revisions being made?
and I guess I'll need a little bit of context, but I guess I'll take a stab at answering it quickly here, is that based on the status as we do the different reporting. So we have a canceled status when we do a revision, the quote becomes canceled. So we can track that. We do have a lost status as for quotes as well, which is different. So when we do a revision, it switches to canceled. So we can track that, hey, this one was canceled because we're doing a revision versus lost because we lost the deal. Whereas, if we win the deal, it does go to one versus active or lost or canceled.
Thank you very much. I don't see any other questions coming in here.
Well, perfect. Well, guys, I would like to thank everybody for joining us for the webinar here today. Again, if there's any questions you guys have, feel free to reach out to myself. I believe, Sabrina, you'll be sending out the webinar and recording here shortly.
Yep.
Perfect. Excellent. Well, guys, have a great day, and thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Jason. Thanks, everyone, for joining us.